Hi, my name is Ben Walker and I'm working with Promise Yourself to bring fair, impartial guidance to help you guys that have never really learnt about finance make some decisions on your future. Now today we're talking about new build homes versus old build homes. Both of them have got some advantages, both have got some disadvantages, so we're going to go through those quickly, figure out which one would be best for you. But first, what are they? Now simply put, new build homes are houses that have never had an owner, they are brand spanking new, whereas old builds are properties that have had at least one previous owner. So like I said, both have got advantages, both have got disadvantages, so let's dive straight in with the new build advantages. Now of course, everything in a new build is brand new. That means that it all should work in theory. So if you're getting a furnished property, all your appliances will be brand new, everything in there's brand new, fantastic, great. Also, new builds are meant to be more energy efficient, which should keep running down costs. They should have better insulation and better heating systems. So in the long run, it could be cheaper to go for a new build home. Also, some new build homes come with the builder guarantee. So if there is any issues with the house within the first 10 years or so, then some new builds have that warranty there, which means that you can have them fixed without any extra cost to yourself. Now, if you're buying a new build home before it's actually been built, then you could have some say in how it's designed. Some building companies do offer you to have some level of personalization with the layout of all these rooms. So again, that could be great if you're really looking for a bit more freedom, a bit more design in your home. However, there are a few disadvantages with new builds. First of all, space. Generally, new builds are a little bit smaller than old builds. Now, this comes back down to how many properties they're trying to fit onto a certain lot. So they try and cram them on a little bit more, so the houses will be a little bit smaller, which means that the rooms will be a little bit smaller, so you have less storage space and smaller rooms in the property. You're also less likely to have a nice big open garden, as like I said, they're trying to squeeze as many properties onto a small space of land as they can. Also, new builds come with something called the new build premium. This basically means that because everything's new, they feel like they can charge more money for it, which is fair enough. However, as soon as you get that key in your hand and you step through that doorway, it loses a lot of value. So it's worth making sure that you realise once you buy a new build home, it's no longer new, it's got a previous owner, so it's going to lose a good chunk of value. So moving on to old build houses. Now, the great things about old build houses are, first of all, they have a bit more space generally. So you have more space to move into, more space for all your stuff, and normally more space in gardens and outside areas. Now this can come into an even bigger benefit because that means that you can then expand your property, if you get planning permission that is, and therefore you can increase its value over time. Also, unlike with new builds, old builds have a previous owner, they're not new, so they're not going to lose a huge amount of value as soon as you buy the house. Again, that's very useful, and generally, older build houses are cheaper than a new build would be for a similar property. So in the short run, it can work out cheaper to go for an older build house. Now, of course, old builds are old. That means they generally have a bit more character to them, which if that's what you're looking for, fantastic. Also, it's normally easier to see what's wrong with them. As I'm sure most people know, with new builds, the build quality can be a little bit wanting, whereas with older builds, they're normally quite structurally sound, and if there is a problem, it's usually quite easy to identify. However, there are a few issues with old builds. For example, generally they're a little bit worse insulated, so they can cost more to keep running. Also, because they are old, they've been through more wear and tear, so they can need a bit more maintenance work as well. Again, that's not a guarantee. Some old build houses are really still well put together, so it just depends on the house, okay? It can take a bit more of a revamp to get it up to a modern standard. That's completely up to you guys to do. Now, trying to choose between a new build and old build, there isn't one set answer. It just depends on what you're looking for, what kind of building you really want to live in. However, there are actually government schemes that can help you buy a new build. I'll be writing an article about government schemes soon as well. But essentially, you can borrow up to 20% of the deposits that you need to put towards a house. You can actually borrow that from the government, and the first 5 years of that is interest-free, after which you have to start paying interest and paying it back. But that's very useful if you can't really get a big deposit together for a new house. There's also a non-government backed schemes which can help you buy an old build house. So again, you can get the new build or the old build, both with schemes. Both can help you save a little bit of money and make it more affordable for you to buy a house. It's really worth doing the research, finding out what you want, what's right in your area, and whether you want to tie yourself into a new build or an old build. It's all about research again. Read as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and don't just buy the first house that you find. Okay, do a bit more of a market research, see what's out there, and I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. My name's been Ben Walker. Hopefully you've learned something here today, and make sure you're watching out for the next video.